Welcome back, y'all. Let's do this eclipse reading. I am Liz. Welcome back to the channel. We're gonna keep this brief. It has been an eclipse retrograde. Okay? Let's see what we have for this moon in Aries. You already see the strength card at the bottom. Some of us need it. But we're also stronger than we think. This is Reclaim Myself season is what it's giving. How will we advocate for ourselves? How would we kind of just go back into the things that serve us? And we also have the King of Cups. And so by sometimes boundaries, sometimes telling people about themselves, sometimes just shifting your energy may be a good thing to do during this eclipse season, to be honest. King of Cups is the Manzel Tarot. King of Cups knows what is right for their well-being and will not overly explain what's right. It just is, right? Kings don't say, oh, because Nah, they're just like, this is what it is. And so having boundaries around your own cup, right? Being in your own cup, filling your own cup, but also placing value on what you offer and what you receive, right? And so through being able to restore emotional well-being, balance, sacredness, we make space for possibility. It is purging season. It is purging season, especially because it's spring, the equinox has happened. And so if you have been going through it, you are not the only one, especially if it's hitting your 4th, 8th, or 12th house, wherever, if Aries is in any of those. And I would also say 1st house. So, everything ain't for everybody is the word. And that is okay on top of that, right? It's no longer leaning into Libra-esque things of, like maybe people pleasing or being indecisive or whatever. It's really making the decision of what is fair and just for you, since Aries is the house of the self. And, charging in to do the things that feel right for you, and then figuring out what aligns with others later. And through justness and fairness and sometimes mediation and boundaries, things can move forward or not. It really depends on your situation. Oh, got no crystals, so we're just gonna move. This is 1, 2, and 3. I know what I'll do. You got them all here. So this is 1, 2, and 3. And I will just begin. All right. Let's move these 2 to the side. Interesting. Okay. So we have separation, division and integration, but it is in the reverse. Do you feel like you're free falling? Four of Cups, which usually talks about being stingy with yourself, but it's not. There's a difference between solitude and isolation, and it's a very fine line, right? Knowing when to retreat, when to retract, when to regather your energy and reflow it back to you versus leaking it out everywhere, keeping different places open, cutting cords, and very much using how it feels, how you feel to decide what you need to do, right? Maybe you're in a moment of solitude. Maybe you do have to disappear for a little while. Maybe just let people know, right? The people that you care about, hey, I'm good. I need a moment. But it's also valuing all of you, right? Your emotions, the imperfections, the intentions, but also like how dope are you? And like realize that and recognize that and honor that as well. Everybody don't gotta be in your cup. And sometimes when there's too many people coming in and out, right? What happens? They track dust and dirt into this house. And so being very, very mindful about that, and protective. You may have experienced something where you're like, I don't know, bruh. And you just gotta kind of retract and go back into your space. And some people may take it personally, but hey, you gotta do what you gotta do for your well-being. And it doesn't mean that bridges need to be cut, right? But it can mean that you need a moment. Where is this thing? Here we go. Okay. Maybe two. All right. So, 35, separation. This is a Black Moon Lilith deck. Division and integration. Real and raw honesty with yourself is needed right now. When the Oracle card comes up, you have important decisions to make. When you go through internal growth, your external must also shift. You can't always go back to the places that have caused you harm. Something has to change, be it that I got boundaries now, there's certain understandings, or you've said how you have been impacted and people are looking for, okay, how do we move through this versus like overly defending or whatever it is, right? It's like, how do we make each other feel safe again? And so, the separation phase in alchemy is like finding the courage to let go of a draining contract, finally taking the steps in a project, or stopping harmful habits. It might be all three. This is accepting a new love into your life that may not be your typical type, but it's for your highest good. You've gained clarity, and now is the time to choose yourself first. Cutting ties of discord. Those who are meant to come along on the ride will accept a new version of yourself that you are stepping into. This is the third stage of the alchemical magnum opus that cleanses the soul through the mystical element of air and is associated with Mars, the planet of action. In esoteric symbolism and modern tarot, air is associated with swords, which actively cut and sever to effect change. In alchemy, separation is a cleansing of matter through the process of cutting or separating. After this stage, you are left with the parts of yourself that you want to keep and can continue with on your ascension path. While it can feel painful to let go, it can also be your old self, right? Lightening your load is necessary for your healing journey. Shadow work. Writing is a powerful form of inner work in alchemy. Take time to relax in a private space with a pen and journal. Separate the page to 2 columns labeled yes and no. Decide what actions, people, situations, and thoughts are aligned with your inner self and add those to the columns. What is not, add to the no column. After, meditate on your thoughts. The answer to your question lies within. It's time to identify what in your life no longer aligns and what belongs in the new world you are creating. Ciao. This is the season. This is truly, truly the season of releasing what wants to go. And it can be the old self that aligned with something that didn't work. And it can be people, places, and things, right? Sometimes it's more than one. Sometimes it's both. Sometimes we are in alignment with people, places, and things because there are parts of us that it speaks to, period. So I hope that was useful. Card number 2. 9 of Wands. So this is the 9 of Wands. And the 9 of Wands usually talks about burdens that we are overtaking, burdens that usually don't belong to us, or doing way too much, right? This is right before the 10 of Wands, where it's like, now you're just carrying burdens that aren't yours in the 10 of Wands. This is like you on your way. And so I like the fact that this person has kind of like stopped, right? They're sitting and they're kind of contemplating on things. Maybe they're reeling from some things that they've experienced. Maybe some things have been tough. Or maybe you're just overwhelmed. Do you have to carry it all by yourself? Do you have to deal with it right now? Does it need to be resolved in 10 minutes? Some of those answers are not yes. Do you have to fix this thing for somebody who had this? No. Sometimes you can wait. Sometimes you can take a pause. Sometimes you can say, I don't have the bandwidth for this. And so really think about what you're carrying energetically, and is it all yours? That's a no. So we have Black Moon Lilith in Aquarius. Honor your individuality. If you've ever felt like the odd person out, that's a positive, to be quite honest. It is a positive. Not everyone is meant to be in the crowd. Not everyone is meant to look the same, exist in the same way, right? Be the weird. Honor your individuality. It's time you let your freak flag fly for the world to see. When Black Moon Lilith in Aquarius shows up in a reading, it is encouraging you to embrace what makes you unique. It will require you to be brave and unapologetic. True friends and aligned souls will accept you for who you are. Those who don't gotta go. Honestly and truly, because you can't grow and expand and become when you're being told to play small. Black Moon Lilith in Aquarius represents revolution and rebellion against the status quo. Aquarius is a fixed air sign symbolized by the water bearer who pours ascended knowledge out to the collective. Especially, this also includes like queerness, not necessarily anything that is queer is not following the status quo. So, period. When the Black Moon Lilith is in this innovative sign, you can expect radical points of view transcending societal expectations. Some people also will have to just catch up. You ahead of the game. Rosa Parks, a notable Black Moon Lilith in Aquarius, was arrested after she refused to give up her bus seat to a white man in 1955, sparking the Montgomery bus boycott and fueling the civil rights movement. She was the right person to finally initiate the thing that was already in plans, right? Black Moon Lilith in Aquarius also can experience feelings of being isolated, the black sheep, in their early life. In your ancestry and childhood, this natural desire for liberation from the collective could have been shunned. You march to beat of your own drum, even when it may be disliked or feared by others. It's about accepting yourself, quirks and all. Once you do this, those who appreciate you will find your message incredibly healing and uplifting. Divine Feminine Shadow Work. Visual meditation is a powerful tool to help confidence in yourself. During meditation, take time to allow your mind to visualize exactly who you are and want to be. This will power your future timeline with your thoughts. Divine Masculine. These are energies. I need you to do both of them, because we got both of them. You attract one-of-a-kind people into your life who reflect the unique qualities you desire. Learn from them and integrate what you admire, instead of wanting to conform to the rest of society. Embrace who you are. The collective needs your unique soul, and they're looking for you. So if these burdens are other people's projections, beliefs about you, I said this and I'm going to say it again. Do not believe the false testimonies and prophecies that somebody has about you. If you are divine, then you are the one capable of creating, orchestrating, and conspiring with the universe. Period. Thank you, card number 2. Card number 3. Black Moon Lilith in Capricorn. We got another 4. You may want to see card number 1. So, 4 Pentacles. Stingy with your resources. Or just being mindful of being stingy with your resources, right? In this Black Moon Lilith in Capricorn, what I will say is do not be a Scrooge or miserly with your funds, but also do not let people spend your resources for you. Apply it to your situation, right? Be very intentional with the value you provide. Be very mindful of the value you provide and value your time, your energy, your being, and your resources. If you've been doing too much, giving too much, offering too much, you know that you have been, and it's okay to be like, actually, I'm a hold back. I have a view of like somebody who's consistently asking you for help or for money or for support. Maybe this time you're like, listen, I can't do that right now. It doesn't matter if you got it or don't got it. Eventually, sometimes people get accustomed and then they get entitled. Create a boundary before you got to create the wall. Okay? You are valuable too. You deserve support. You deserve to be given to. You deserve to be celebrated. You deserve to receive resources. Just because you exist, not because you have to prove that you're worthy of it. Okay? If the job don't want to pay you more, start thinking about consulting with whatever you already do. And it don't hurt to apply while you're still employed. If you've been tight on money, how do you reconfigure how money is energy? Bills need to be paid now, and I get that. Do what you got to do to make it happen, to make sure that you have your basics covered. But also, fearing a lack of resources tells the universe, I don't trust you. And the flow gets cut off. There are all kinds of systemic things where the flow is cut off. How do you allow resources to look a different way, be it through trade, be it through offering time, volunteering? You never know where your next opportunity will be. And I know that personally. Okay? Let's read Black Moon Lilith in Capricorn. I think it's such an interesting card. Elevated status. Imposter syndrome is creeping in and you are doubting your accomplishments. Don't do that. Absolutely not. The cosmos wants you to let go of insecurities and have faith in yourself. When this card shows up, the opportunity to level up and gain recognition is well on its way. Don't let fear self-sabotage what's about to come. Break the glass ceiling and shift the structures that are holding you down. And I don't know if I said this in the last video, but if you don't got nothing else, spite. Get into the rooms that people have made you feel like you don't belong in. Get into the rooms through your merit and your networking and your connections, and just by being who you are, calling onto spirit, calling onto all of the peoples, to have people mention your name in doors that you have not walked in yet, and walk in them, knowing not only do you belong there, you didn't get there by chance or luck. You worked hard to be there. And let them seethe. Live a long life just out of spite, okay? Capricorn is a cardinal earth sign symbolized by the sea goat, which exudes leadership, status, structure, hierarchy, tradition, and power. Ruled by cosmic disciplinarian Saturn, Capricorn represents the patriarch and the authority. Black Moon Lilith in Capricorn sparks rebellion against traditional and oppressive structures. Madam C.J. Walker, a natal Black Moon Lilith in Capricorn, broke down systemic barriers of oppression as the first multimillionaire by building a hair product empire in the nearly 1900s. Black Moon Lilith in Capricorn paves a unique path upward. Every time you achieve or gain the status you desire, there's always someone or something there to overshadow you. Fuck them. As a result, you can build up fear around your own power. Do not do that. You let them win. The key is to step into a leadership role in your personal and professional life without apology. Your reality will shift once you release the limits on yourself, not the other way around. Divine Feminine Shadow Work. It's time to release attachment around power and recognition. Instead, align with your soul's purpose. This will make you more magnetic versus repelling the opportunities that materialize for you. Divine Masculine Shadow Work. Control can be a toxic masculine trait. In fact, the best way to alchemize this shadow is to provide stability and security to those around you. Where have you not supported the feminine energy in your life? What or who has questioned your authority? It's time to challenge imposter syndrome. The people who should have imposter syndrome don't got it. So why do you? Y'all, be safe, be mindful, be intentional, be with yourselves. This moon, be careful, but also be inquisitive, be intuitive with yourself, your needs, and if you have the spoons, the needs of others. Nothing worth it is at the expense of yourself. And it doesn't mean not being inconvenienced, right? It's not being taken advantage of or coerced into anything. Aries is warrior energy. Softness is warrior energy. But you have to be vicious in order to be soft. We are flawed. We are vulnerable. We experience all kinds of things. But you are still a warrior if you choose to be. I will see you in the next moon.